as with any major patch, there's some good news and some bad news post-release pertaining to hidden features that were released but not announced, and bugs and regressions of features that get in the way of gameplay. So starting with the good news, there are a number of positive additions that have since been added to the game. In particular, Vista Genomics and Pioneer Supplies are now available to be added to squadron carriers, which is a welcome addition. Still no bar, but who knows? Maybe it will make it into the squadron carrier eventually as well. But for now, no bar. Just Vista Genomics and Pioneer Supplies, noting that some commanders are having issues adding them to their carriers, while others are succeeding at it. So it might also take an additional turn of the crank to stabilize that part of the game and ensure that it works, but it is something that has been added and is a welcome change. In addition, the limit to the number of commanders in a squadron has been, or is being raised from 500 to 600, which is not a huge increase, but it's a welcome change and a step in the right direction. Possibly the most substantive series of unannounced changes in the patch notes, however, have to do with quality of life and with Trailblazers colonization changes. Very small but incredibly impactful for carrier owners change is the fact that your personal carrier is now always visible in the left panel regardless of what filters you select, which means the end to having to toggle the carrier filter on and off to be able to access your carrier and then scroll for 3 screens into busy systems to just be able to find your own carrier. It will just be right there, which aids immensely in navigating to your own carrier and is a huge and welcome quality of life change. In addition to that, there's reports that undocumented change has been introduced to the way economies work, with the top 2 economies, although more research is necessary to understand exactly how it works, having a much lower degree of cross-cannibalization of markets in player-built stations, which finally means that multi-market economy stations can somehow coexist and work in a way that doesn't fundamentally cripple them. We are waiting for the patch notes that, or a patch note update that has been promised by FDev community managers with regards to what specifically has changed and how the new system works as far as mixing market and player-built stations are concerned. Now to the less than ideal sort of bugs and regression. There are a number of issues with regards to Vanguards. Possibly the most sort of game-breaking as far as leaderboards and squadron activities is concerned is the fact that there's a major bug that results in selling minerals to your carrier being counted towards the mining leaderboard, and selling any commodities to your carrier being counted towards the trade leaderboard. And since you can buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell from your carrier over and over again very quickly, that, as you can imagine, stacks up an enormous amount of, quote, paper profits in ways that cripple and sort of essentially sink the whole purpose of those leaderboards. There's a number of people that are exploiting the heck out of this, as you can see, just by looking at the leaderboards. My opinion is this is something that needs to be fixed, and then the leaderboards, at least those 2 leaderboards for trade and mining, need to be wiped, as right now they are completely subject to who exploits the most out of this unintended feature, if you will. So that's something that needs fixing. In addition to that, I have no idea how, but fuel transfer limpets have been fundamentally broken. We've been trying yesterday, and in 20,000 different ways, we've tried to get fuel limpets to not die upon being immediately deployed. We were not successful, which means the fuel rats are not able to function right now. So if you're stranded out in the black with no fuel, the rats are not in a position to help you at this point in time. Fuel transfer inputs are broken, and until further notice, they effectively are non-functional. There was also a major stability bug that apparently was tied somehow to one of the perks, which is the cargo insurance perk, which has recently been introduced. And there's been an announcement that the cargo insurance perk has been disabled in terms of its effects. It's still selectable, but it does nothing at this point in time. Cargo insurance as a perk does not work. And in fact, it's something that is just has no effect. So something to keep in mind. One also pretty crippling thing that has been changed is the fact that the notoriety access and the all versus squadron versus friends only versus sort of who can dock at your personal carrier selection has broken. It is no longer possible to change that setting on carriers. You are stuck with the current setting that you have with no way to change it. You can change it, but it will automatically revert back to its previous state, and it effectively won't change it at all. So that's something to keep in mind. This is obviously a bug that will need to be fixed, but for the time being, it is what it is, and something that we'll need to kind of live with for a while until it is fixed. So those are some of the bugs and some of the news and some of the updates that have been introduced. I'll keep you upposted. Yeah, that's the word. I'll keep you updated on news as they emerge. Glory to mankind, Commander Meccan, over and out.